everyone! Today we will be learning about ReactJS. But before we will start, remember to subscribe our channel if you don't do it yet and turn on the notifications so you know about every next episode. And also remember about thumbs up! Hello everyone and welcome in today's episode. Today we are going to start something new. We will be learning how to use ReactJS with GraphQL. And if you would like to do the backend with us as well, my friend is creating the ExpressJS course with GraphQL, and that's the API I'm going to use in this episode. So take a look at his course, it's from yesterday, I'll put you a link, and get the code and open it, and let's go and do frontend for that API.
Okay, so let's start from creating a new ReactJS application. So let's open the console in the folder where you would like to have your application. And let's use npx create react app. Let's add a name for our application. Mine will be a React with GraphQL dev. Okay, when it's ready, let's go to the folder and let's start the application. It should open on localhost 3000 and we should see this standard ReactJS first screen. Okay, the next thing that we have to do is to open our code in your favorite code editor. Let's see if it's fine. Everything seems okay. We can delete all these things from our app.js file. And also we can clean up.css file. Let's save. Let's go back to the terminal and we will need the axios. So let's use yarn add axios, or you can do it with npm, depending what you're using. And right now we are going to add Bulma. That's the CSS framework that we are going to use. So let's go to documentation, and I'd like to add it by CDN. So here it is. Let's copy and let's paste it into our HTML index.html file. Okay. And there's one more thing, because we are going to use font awesome. So let's take the link and let's add it as well. And right now we can start creating our component. So inside the src folder, let's create folder components where we'll place all the components that we have. And inside the components folder, let's create transactions folder. And in transactions folder, let's create transactions.jsx file. And let's start by importing React. And defining the functional component. Let's call it transactions. And let's export it. Now let's create our return statement inside the transaction components. I'll be adding some class names for the component from the Bulma. I already have my design, so just follow me, or you can take a look at Bulma classes and elements and create your own. So let's create a section, and inside the section I'm going to create a card. Inside the card, I'm going to add the card header, so we know what about our table is. And inside the header, let's add the paragraph with the class card header title. And let's put here transactions history, because that's the data we are going to take. And right now we are able to import it into our app.js to be able to see how it works, how it looks, and to check it. So yeah, let's import our transactions. And let's add some classes here in app file. Let's add some light background. Let's add a container. And also let's add columns and one column. It will be useful in the further development of our application. Okay, it looks pretty nice. Let's go to our app CSS and let's change a few things. Let's delete the code that left and let's style our app class. So let's add some height, some min height, and width to make it like full screen. Yeah, because we don't want to cut this background, so that's the way. And now let's go back to our transactions.jsx. And under the header we are going to create card body or card content. Inside the card content, let's add some table wrapper. And inside table wrapper, let's add table with some classes. Okay, now it's time for the head and our table header row. We are going to have 4 values: ID, amount, category, and date. And below the head, let's add the body, and let's add 1 row. Later we are going to map this row, so we don't need to create them manually. Okay, it's here, it doesn't look pretty good right now, so we'll change some styling. And let's go back to app.css file and let's do some styles. Okay, now we can come back to our transactions.jsx file and we will start creating our call to GraphQL. So let's go there and let's import axios. When that's ready, let's import hooks, useState and useEffect. Both will be necessary. And now we can define the hook with useState, and we can define transactions and set transactions. And let's initialize it as an empty array. And below that, let's create a query that we will use to ask for data from GraphQL. And we are going to ask for ID, date, category, amount, and type. You can modify it and ask just for IDs, for example, or just for amounts, but in our case we will need all of those values so we can display them. And below that, let's use another hook. Let's use useEffect, and inside useEffect we are going to create an axios call. So axios, URL, and here is the trick. Because we are using our backend on localhost as well, we may have some issues with cores. That's why I'm going to set the proxy. And let's go to package.json file, and above the scripts, let's add proxy and URL to our backend. In my case, it's localhost 400. And of course, after that, we have to run the application again. And that's why now it's going to be just GrahpQL. That's it, no localhost. The method will be post, and the data will be query. Now we can use then, response or result. Set transactions, and now we can console log the result to check where our transactions actually are. And in my case, it's result.data.data.expenses. And also, let's do a quick check before we will try to save it. So let's see if the result data.data.expenses are there. Because if not, we are not able to save it, and then we'll go back. There's one more thing. We want this useEffect to start just once, so let's add an empty array at the end. And now we can map our transactions. So let's go to tbody and let's use transactions.map. Let's call it item. And here we will add the key, and also remember to never add key as an index. It's an anti-pattern. So if you have any idea of the item, you can use this, or you can generate the random ID from an external library. Okay, so first will be item ID, second item amount, then item category, and then item date. Cool, so now let's go and rerun our application to see if we got the data. And we need to rerun it because of the proxy. Now let's see. Yeah, we've got the data, but it doesn't look pretty good yet. So let's do some changes here to make it nice. Also, we don't know which are incoming and which are outcoming. That's why I would like to mark them on the special color, and if they are outcoming, add a minus. So let's go back to our code and let's start with our item amount. Let's add a tag from the Bulma. And we will add here also the check for the item type. And we will set the red tag if it's outgoing and the green tag if it's incoming. Also, let's do the same and let's check if it's incoming, then we will not add anything in front of the item amount. And if it's outgoing, we will add the minus. Also, let's add the dollar at the end. Okay, so it looks pretty cool. Now we see some of them are outgoing and some of them are incoming. Right now I would like to add the item to each category. That's why I'm going to create a function called getItem with category as a parameter, and here I will use switch statement to display the certain icon selected from font awesome depending on the category. So I already prepared my icons, so you can follow me. Or you can select yours. Okay, so we've got the function. Let's go to our item category. Let's add the code for the icon. And let's our function as a variable. Also, don't forget to pass item category as a parameter. Okay, so we have a typo here, so just let's delete this E. And yeah. Okay, great. So it looks pretty good right now, and we've got our application ready and running. Congratulations, and thank you for watching.
Congratulations! You've just finished a simple ReactJS application where you are using GrahpQL to get data from our backend and to display it as a table. By the way, we are using Bulma for the tables. If you liked the video, remember to give us thumbs up and to leave a comment. And also remember to subscribe our channel if you don't subscribe us yet and turn on the notifications so you know about the next episode of ReactJS. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!